What's going on? What's going on? I was having some technical difficulties, but I think hopefully we got everything under control. This has had been a crazy racial filled couple of weeks. There's a lot going on. There's a lot I want to get into, and I want to try to figure out why so much disrespect. Now, even when I was a young man and I was, taking my little dab at the street life, I never had a disrespect for police. I always, when I was out there in the streets, I was always like, you know what, being a cop is a pretty cool, fulfilling, career, job, whatever. And I was always, you know, wanting to do it, even though I was out in the streets. Now I got into some trouble back when I was in my early 20s. I'm way older now, so I did. You only had to show me one time, and I definitely learned my lesson. And again, I only needed one time to be shown. So I always had a respect for police, and I still have a respect for police to this day. If I'm pulled over, you need to see my license, registration, insurance. I'm not gonna give you a hard time telling you I don't have to show it to you and all that crap and nonsense. No, I'm gonna show it to you. Hope most every time I've been pulled over and everything went as planned. I had the paperwork. We had a conversation, and I went on my way. No ticket, no nothing. In Cincinnati, Ohio, a young man, Ryan Hinton, I believe his name is, was shot and killed by police. The narrative is saying that he was shot and killed just blatantly by police. And I'm not being insensitive, but that isn't the case. And it's unfortunate that this young man is gone because, again, I believe the culture played a part. And I believe this kid has a strong family structure according to the news reports and what we're seeing on television. Father, mother, dad, father, mother, granddad, grandma, everybody's aunts, all this. He's gone. This is horrible. He's gone on both sides. And I mean, both sides of this thing is horrible because you have an innocent retired police officer who's also gone. Killed for nothing. Had nothing to do with it. And again, when as a black man, if you speak out against it, you get attacked from all sides. You get doxxed. You get all these things that happen to you. And I don't think that's right. I want to go with what's right. This man had nothing to do with it. I don't care what color he is. I'm for character. If you're cool, you're cool. You could be any color. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole, no matter what color you are. This guy, from what I'm reading about him, I did some research on him. He was a good dude. Check this out.
Well, police say Rodney Hinton Jr. did this on purpose, possibly to avenge the death of his son, Ryan Hinton. Ryan Hinton was 18 years old, and a day earlier, a Cincinnati police officer shot and killed him after encountering him and some others in a car that had been reported stolen out of Kentucky.
Definitely a good guy. This man killed him because I guess he went and saw the video, and again I think Cincinnati has a 24-hour timeline to show you the body cam footage when it involves something this high impact. A young person was killed. He was shot, and he was killed, which is extremely unfortunate. It's terrible. Again, losing your child is something you don't ever want to experience. And I don't think no one should experience it. And I'm not being insensitive and I'm not being disrespectful. I feel bad for the Hinton family. But I also feel even worse for the Henderson family, for this police officer that was killed for doing nothing. He was doing extra duty out there working for directing traffic for a college graduation, I believe. It was some kind of graduation. Now, people would say, he was, the cop shot him because he was black and just killed him. Somebody wrote this when I was going back and forth with a bunch of people that were just annihilating me. And this isn't about me. I just wanted to give everybody a perspective of what people are saying and thinking. This is what people are saying. Rob Davis, what do you mean you have to point a gun at law enforcement or feel threatened? And by him running away and never pointing the gun, 9 times out of 10, that youngin' was running to throw that gun. But we will never know now. But I'm glad they're from there in Baton Rouge. He would be another blank cop to me. It's whatever YUE means, for eye for an eye. I think he meant the right eye. Eye for an eye, 2025 for me. Now, with that being said, you said that there was no threat to the police officer. Okay, well, again, Cincinnati plays a little different. They get it right out there and they get to it. They don't play around. Now, what you said was that it was a cop. There was no threat. He shouldn't have been killed. It was wrong. And I would be with you if that was the case. And again, to the Hinton family, I'm not being insensitive. If that was the case, I would be with you. But that's not the case. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
This is the firearm that was recovered at the scene after the individual was shot. This is what he had in his hand while the officers were chasing him. It's just a photo of it here at Criminalistics. Remember I told you he fell on the concrete and the officers said that they heard the metal hit the ground? There are 3 spots on here where this gun has scratches on it. We believe those occurred when he hit the ground with the firearm. This is a second, sorry Bobby, can you go back 1 frame please? This magazine was in the firearm. That's an extended magazine, so it holds more rounds. Go ahead. This is a second magazine that was located in his sweatshirt pocket, his jacket pocket. And that is the magazine from that second magazine. This is another firearm that was located inside the stolen vehicle. This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident.
Again, if that was the case, I'll be with you. Extended magazine. Dropped it and picked it back up. Now, as far as I'm pointing it at the cop, I don't know because of the they said the blurriness of the body cam. But he dropped it and he picked it back up. And still, people don't say, you know what? You might be on to something. That kid might have messed up. You know, might have been hanging with the wrong crowd. And a stolen Kia. You know, the Kia, stealing Kias is a big thing now with these young black men. They like to steal Kias because of the TikTok challenge, and that's been going on for some time. Where I live at, they do it all the time. They crash into stuff, tear people's things up, jump out, run and go steal another one. People have to work hard, but there's no outrage for that. There's no outrage. The person, I guess, has to be, you know, a black person, and it has to be that. But this guy, this Officer Henderson, is, you know, he was according to the reports and everything, he was a good guy. Let me make sure I got his name right. I think it's Larry Henderson. Was that his name? Yeah, Officer Henderson. You know, and I think they're going for the death penalty, but he was a good guy. Why are people so disrespectful? Because he was white? Because he was a police officer? And if you're black and you say something, oh, you're a coon, you're a sellout. This is the same old narrative. You can go ahead and say whatever you want. This was wrong. That father may have been traumatized by what he saw, but it's some things you had to take into accountability. If you're this kid who's no threat, you don't need an extended magazine. You don't need 2 firearms. You don't need a clip in your pocket. When they found him, when he was shot, I mean, unfortunately, when he was killed, you know, and it's terrible for them. It's extremely terrible for them. And it seems like, you know, it's like, you know, this officer, retired officer, he had foster kids. He's been on the force. He's been, you know, nothing bad said about him. Come on, man. And then the disrespect is is that bad? It seemed like the only person that had something decent to say was the grandfather.
Ryan Hitten's grandfather, the father of Rodney Hinton, also spoke.
I want to give a condolence out to the officers that got killed, my whole family. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I've been praying hard for the officer that killed my grandson. I've been praying hard for him and his family because I know he's hurting off this. As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I had nothing against nobody. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, and I represent Him. So, with that said, please, everybody, just try to forgive everybody who done anything to anybody.
Seems like he was the only one that was, you know, he even said it. I don't think the cop did this intentionally. I think he was put into a position where he had to act. The grandfather said he wants to go home to his family. But culture America, disrespectful America, you know who you are. You're saying these horrible things, and it's not right. This man was a loving father, hardworking, had nothing to do with anything. Even if you went to get to the cop that had something to do with it. And again, let me note, I'm not being insensitive. The kid was still out there doing what he wasn't supposed to be doing. According to that. Now, I guess it's going to play out. They're going to see what happens, and they're going to go from there. But the disrespect is crazy. It's crazy. I really dislike people like you, Rob. You're too loud in mixed company, whatever that means. Keep these opinions to yourself. Oh, but it's okay for you to have your opinion, but mine can't. I can't have mine. Because he's black and black people have targets on their back from birth. If this narrative is so damn tiring, they can say whatever they want. But if I have an opinion, I said what he did was wrong. He needs to rot. And I'm not being insensitive again. I want to keep stressing that to what happened with his child. Again, losing a child is a very horrible thing. He was probably in a traumatic state. But what he did was not right. It was horrible what he did. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Because I'm a black man, I got to stick to some damn protocol and say disrespectful, bad things. What about the Henderson family? What about what they're going through? What about, okay, hon, I'll see you when you come back. All right, Dad, see you when you get back. Something normal. Pick up bread and milk on the way home and eggs. Something like that. And he gets mowed down and killed for something he had nothing to do with? Come on, man. Come on, man. Disrespect. Again, I'm not allowed to have my opinion. Keep these opinions to yourself. But you can just spit out whatever you want to spit out. Nah, I'm sorry. This has got to change. I don't share those views. I'm not down with that. I'm pretty much believing that this man is going to get a lot of time, possibly the death penalty. Most likely that's what he's going to get. And who knows? This is bad. This is bad. This is all around bad. But what he did was intentional. I don't believe what the cop did was intentional. I'm pretty certain it wasn't intentional. The grandfather said he saw the video. And he said he saw the cop was very distraught when it happened. And he saw the video. So what is he? Is he a coon? Is he a sellout? Because he's talking from truth. I know my grandson wasn't a great kid or whatever. I mean, probably was a great kid. I'm not going to say he was a bad kid. But what he did, he pretty much got himself into some bad stuff and that he shouldn't have been involved with. He was probably hanging around the wrong crowd, and he probably was doing things he wasn't supposed to be doing. And unfortunately, he's not here, and I feel terrible for that family. And I can't say, well, hang in there because you're losing a child. You can't hang in there. That's about as bad as it gets. And again, the disrespect has to stop. And if I got to keep my opinion to myself, you got to keep your opinion to yourself. Police officers probably do more for the black community than the black community do for the black community. So just knock it off. To the Hinton family, I'm sorry for what happened to your kid. I'm sure he was probably a good boy. To the Henderson family, the police officer, and police all around who do so much for people who I don't mind calling them. I love to see him. When I go to the gas station and get gas at 5 a.m. and see 2 cop cars parked out there, I'm not worried about them jacking me. But that's a whole nother conversation. Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I don't like to come before you long. I like to get my spill off. I like to say what I got to say, and that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Raw TV Network. I'm Rob D. The disrespect, please. It won't stop. It's going to probably get worse than what it is now. But again, people, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you. I got some more stuff coming because it seemed like it's every day something crazy is happening. But peace out, y'all. Thank you.